What's up? It's Justin with the Mode Challenge, and I wanted to talk to you today about alternative sweeteners. The truth is, we've all been hypnotized into believing that everything should have sugar in it. Sugar is in everything from pastries to drinks, salad dressings, condiments. And if that wasn't bad enough, our body treats processed carbs like cookies, waffles, pancakes as sugar as well. So we're inundated with all this sugar all the time. Donuts, candy, ice cream, cake, soft drinks, fruit juice, cereal, biscuits, even water. Vitamin water, it's supposed to be healthy, it's supposed to have vitamins. It has just as much sugar as a bottle of Coca-Cola.
Oh yeah!
We all love sweets. That's just a fact of life. But what I wanted to do was give you some alternatives and some options to not just yank the joy out of your life, but to increase your joy in life by increasing your quality of life while reducing your health risk for certain of the most common health ailments. If you're trying to still get a treat and maybe be kind of creative, then I would recommend these sweeteners. So sugar comes from the sugarcane plant, if you didn't know that already. And what they do is they take the sugarcane, make it into a liquid, boil it down, and they crystallize it. Then they separate the good stuff, which is molasses, and the bad stuff, which is the crystallized form of sugar. Sugar isn't the only plant though that has sweeteners. There's other plants that have plant fiber, and so other plants can be turned into sweeteners. For instance, birch bark. From the birch tree, literally. Birch bark is the same thing like sugarcane in the fact that it comes from a plant fiber, but it doesn't have the same spike of insulin, which means it's low on the glycemic index. What is the glycemic index? The glycemic index basically is a measure of how fast your blood sugar is spiked. So if you were to eat like a spoonful of sugar, just straight up white sugar, you would have this shoot up like a rocket, and then a letdown that was really quick, and then you feel like groggy, fuzzy, blurry, and you'd also feel kind of tired and weak. That's just 1 teaspoon, but we get about 31 teaspoons every single day. That's average for the American. What we're looking at is low glycemic sweeteners. That means that they don't spike your blood sugar, they give you more of a little rise. So you can have this in your baking or substitute it for any kind of other sugar cravings you might have, and it doesn't have that same effect. Now the thing about sweeteners, it still has a dopamine effect in your brain, meaning it makes you still feel happy because you're getting something. But you're technically tricking yourself into thinking you're getting something sweet, but when you're actually healing your insulin. This one is really good for 1-to-1. So if you had a cup of sugar, you can use a cup of xylitol in your baking, and it works just as good. There's no aftertaste, but if you use too much at one time, you're probably gonna get kind of a stomach ache, because after all, it is plant fiber. Next one is stevia. This is not my go-to, but it's pretty close. It comes from a stevia plant, the stevia leaf, also the plant fiber pulled from there. The only thing about stevia is it has kind of like an aftertaste, but if you blend it correctly, you can find the right balance. 0 calories, very low on the glycemic index, virtually 0 again, and it's a good substitute. Also makes you feel happy because you're getting that sweetness. Doesn't have the same effect on your gut, so I would say if you have a kind of a funny stomach, try the stevia. Another alternative is coconut sugar. I like it because you can use it for flavoring. It has its own distinct flavor, so whatever you put it in, just expect it to taste coconutty sweet. Kind of like a coconut nectar flavor, if you can imagine what that is. Think coconut flavored molasses. Molasses, the dark, syrupy, rich stuff. That's where all the nutrition lives. In essence, molasses is far more nutritious than sugar. Iron, potassium, it's really beneficial, and also it helps you get off of that sugar craving on your way to something like more glycemic friendly. This is monk fruit. This is my go-to. Has no aftertaste, it's really easy on the stomach, good for baking, good for cooking, good for tea, and it has no calories, very low on the glycemic index, tastes just like sugar. But all these sweeteners are low glycemic, they don't spike your blood sugar, insulin, and they don't have high calories. They still sweeten just the way you want them to. So you can have your cake and eat it too, in a way. As long as you're using the low glycemic sugars you should be fine. You don't want to overdo it, of course, because ideally what you want to do is reset your body to not think about sweets the way you do. It's kind of an addiction, and people don't think of sugar that way, but it's pretty addictive. Eventually, when your body starts to heal, you'll get to a place where you don't crave things anymore. You don't crave sweets, you don't crave fried foods, and that's what I'm here to help you do. So I hope that was helpful. All the things I showed you today, all the sweeteners can be found on my Amazon shop, amazon.com/shop/mode-challenge. And I put it in a nice section for you, alternate sweeteners, which helps you go straight to what you're looking for. They can be found on Amazon, you can find them at your local grocery store or at your local health food store. I recommend going to the health food store, always a better interaction, and you're helping support small business. But for some reason, if you can't leave your house, there's always Amazon. Take care, happy baking and cooking, and let me know what you think about the sweeteners we talked about today in your recipes.